Following a recommendation I saw on Twitter recently, I purchased Stanley's War. What at first I thought was a film, but is much more a docudrama running for about an hour, like the ones you'd see on the BBC, ITV, Channel 4, etc. Covering a handful of true stories from the people of Ramsholt in Suffolk during the First World War. The main story, and where this film gets its name, is Stanley Banyard, a young man who served in the 7th Signal Battalion of the Suffolk Regiment, and he acts as the common man's point of view to the war. The other main acting part of this is the story of Frank Pretty, who served in the 4th Battalion as an officer. If the surname Pretty sounds familiar, this is because it is the same Frank Pretty who was married to Edith Pretty, owner of Sutton Hoo, that was recently covered in The Dig on Netflix. In fact, their relationship leading up to their marriage is covered in the film, as is the actions of Edith, as she was at the time Dempster, and her time working as a war nurse. The other main storyline is some of Stanley's friends, who serve in the 6th Cycle Battalion of the Suffolk Regiment, who, rather than being posted to France, serve in Suffolk itself, guarding the coast from possible invasion, doing patrols on bicycles, hence the battalion's name. Their story also goes into some of the anti-German violence towards the German citizens living in the country that the war had brought on. As I said, this is a docudrama, so between these acted sections are segments of history of where certain characters were during the war, either narrated or presented by John McCarthy, with extra information provided by historians in talking head cutaways. Now, as you can tell from the trailer, Stanley's War was made on a very low budget. Now, for some people, this might be a problem, but for me, as you can see from this picture, I am no stranger to low budget films, owning what some people might say is far, far too many. But I can safely say Stanley's War is a low budget film made for the right reasons. It is clearly made with care, respect, and passion for the topic they are covering. And for me, the only time the budget really showed was a fake beard on the character of a gamekeeper. But this is an incredibly minor point, and what is in all other respects an entertaining and informative film. Now, the only way you can get this film is to order it from the makers themselves using their website. I've posted the link in the description below for anyone who wishes to buy a copy. Prices might be different depending on where you live, but for me, it cost £10 for the DVD and about £1.50 added on for postage. And for this, you get the DVD as well as 3 postcards, 2 of which are designs that you see in the film itself. The money they raise from this film goes to the Royal British Legion and the Suffolk Punch Trust, a charity that helps protect the critically endangered Suffolk Punch horses, who were a huge part of country life around the time of the First World War, and some are featured in the film. It's hard to give this a star rating compared to others I have done, as it is so different, but I like it, and if it sounds interesting to you, I suggest you pick up a copy. It's rated 12, so it might not be appropriate for younger children, but if you have children who are learning about the First World War in school, this would be a great thing to show them, and is frankly the kind of thing they should show in schools when they cover the topic, not episodes of Blackadder as they did in mine. But possibly things have changed since I was in school. I hope you've enjoyed this quick review. This has been a little bit of history.